here we have a representation of a chirp pulse. So you can see the change in the amplitude here of the pulse, but the important thing is that the frequency of the pulse, the oscillation rate of these fringes, changes from long, low frequency to higher frequency as we go through the pulse. This is where we actually use the chirp pulse technology, and the low energy laser that I was showing you earlier, the 80 megahertz pulses, are let into the cavity here, and what we want to do is we want to increase their intensity so that we can use them for things like wavelength conversion. We can change the frequency at which the light gets out onto the bench that we do our experiments. So if we just amplify a short pulse, what happens is we get very high peak energies, and that tends to burn optics. So the beauty of chirp pulse amplification is we take the pulse going into the laser and we spread it out in time. We spread the high frequencies to one end of the pulse, the low frequencies to the other end of the pulse, and that lowers the peak energy. And then in this part of the cavity here, we can amplify that pulse without burning optics, without producing really high pulse energies. And then what we do is, once we've amplified the pulse, we let that back out into a compressor, and we recompress the pulse. We bring the high frequencies and the low frequencies back together, so that when the pulse comes out of the laser at this end, what we have is a short 35 femtosecond pulse with incredibly high peak energies that we can then use for wavelength conversion and ultra-fast spectroscopy. So this is our oscillator. This produces very low energy laser pulses. You can see that it produces light at about 800 nanometers. So you can see this red beam here. So what we're producing here is 80 megahertz, so 18 million pulses per second, that have a duration of about 25 femtoseconds, but very low energy. So lots of pulses and very low energy. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the build-up profile of the laser as we let a pulse into the amplifier cavity. It's going round and getting more energetic, and then eventually what we can do is just kick it out of the cavity, and that's the pulse that we can use on the bench.